I will master this.
Professor? Professor, I saw you looking at me. I know what that look means. You want to add me to your class? Just kidding. But if you did invite me to join, I'd consider it. Oh, you really have taken a shine to me. I hope I can live up to your expectations. I look forward to learning from you.
I wouldn't call it a rousing success, but it went okay, all things considered.
Well, it went okay once I rolled up my sleeves and helped you. That worked out well.
Am I starting to master this?
I'm a natural.
I'm getting the hang of this.
Oh yeah, getting the hang of it. you sure? Thank you so much. You're always so kind to me. I'll have to repay you sometime. Lysa? listening just now and judging me getting other people to do my work for me. I've got better things to do. Although, I do wonder why everyone is always so eager to help you. I only ask for help if they offer. I don't ever pressure people. So I've noticed. That's what strikes me as odd. I suppose they're just so taken with me, they want to help me out. I see. That would explain it. Oh dear, I was expecting you to argue, not to agree with me right away. There's no reason to deny what's clearly true. Everything about your outward appearance is immaculate and well thought out. Even your fingernails are always well kept and painted. No doubt your toenails are the same. I can't tell if you're complimenting me or accusing me of something. And you smell delightful, like candy. Or wait, am I catching a hint of floral? I'm so glad you noticed. It's oil extracted from a flower that only blooms at night. Floral oils, huh? I didn't think they had much use outside of homeopathy and house cleaning. I have some right here, actually. Here, I can give you a splash. There we go. I put it on your wrist, so you'll want to rub them together. Body heat is what activates the scent. Your wrists and your neck are relatively warm, so they're good spots to apply the fragrance. For a very subtle fragrance, you can also try putting it under your clothing. So, what do you think? It's lovely. Now I smell just like you, Hilda. Somehow, this makes me feel a little more mature. Thank you. So that's it. She just wants to feel more grown up. She's hard to read, that one. That smile, though. Who knew she could be so cute?
You know, Professor, I keep hearing good things about you. I gotta admit, I'm curious. Want to let me into your class? All right, that was easy enough. Come on, we're gonna run this place. Thanks.
Good results.
this controller.
A true noble never fails.
Ah, shucks. I guess I did it.
The goddess's rite of rebirth is finally here. Let's move ahead with our plan.
Leave it to me. Professor, are you in as well?
We've narrowed down their objective. Kind of. So, let's show everyone that we can carry out our duties better than anyone.
We're counting on you, Professor. You seem a mite too relaxed for my liking.
The goddess's rite of rebirth is about to begin. While we are in the goddess tower, we are relying on you to secure the locations that are lacking in defense.
May I let you in on something, Professor? My brother can be a bit callous. He told me that he was concerned about you and hinted that perhaps you would be better off patrolling a coffin.
That was said in jest, Flame, and in confidence. Please just remain by my side and do not cause any more trouble. As a professor, you would do well to remember that it is your duty to guide your students down the path of righteousness.
Please excuse us, everyone. We shall see you again after the ceremony has concluded.
It's time.
All right. Let's stick to the plan and go hide where we can watch over the entrance to the Holy Mausoleum. If anyone suspicious enters, we'll follow them in and take them down. Got it? is as we suspected. The enemy is within.
Those Central Church dastards have spotted us. Buy me some time while I open the seal on the casket.
I'm on it.
The enemy is after the casket of St. Ceros. Do they intend to steal her bones? We must defeat those enemies before they open the casket. But look closely at the ground. There are contraptions of some sort in place. We'll have to look closely at the enemy's weapons and advance while attacking them from the best positions possible.
Stay focused.
Who, me? Hilda! Hilda!
Ready.
I aim for greatness.
Here goes.
I'll cut through.
I'm on it. I am Ferdinand von Eyre. I'll give it my all.
That's my cue.
What should I do? Death Knight, prove your strength and scatter these fools.
I don't take commands, or waste my time on weaklings.
That knight looks like he has experience. It would be foolish to challenge him recklessly.
Easy.
Like moths to a flame. I told you that if you fled, I would not chase you. But it seems you wish to die.
Sorry, did I hurt you?
Be gone.
I didn't expect to encounter someone like you. How fortunate.
I'm certain I've improved.
Pretty good, don't you think?
Let's see them handle this. I'm all sweaty.
Thanks.
You were wide open.
Yeah, that was all me.
Only a fool challenges me.
I had no choice.
Who's next? Let's go.
Can't afford to lose.
Take me seriously. All roses have thorns.
Let the lessons begin. You fought well.
I'm glad I can count on you.
I want to go home.
That one is expected. Not so fast. Luck is always on my side. Had to be done. reinforcements haven't arrived? If they approach from behind, we can attack them from both sides.
Doing my part.
Over already. You're too late. The seal will be broken any minute now. Should I have held back? We must all do... It's no use. The seal is broken. You can't... A sword.
Is the intruder here? Oh, looks like you have this under control. You, round up any stragglers.
Will do.
As all of you have committed a breach of faith, the Archbishop will now pass judgment.
Inciting a kingdom noble to rebel, unlawful entry, the attempted assassination of the Archbishop, an attack on the Holy Mausoleum. It is unnecessary to go on, followers of the Western Church.
What? We have nothing to do with the Western Church. You have already been identified. Please spare us your second-rate theater.
Dishonoring a holy ceremony is worthy of death for a member of the Church. You are well past the hope of redemption. If you have...
No, this isn't what we were told would happen. We've been deceived.
It's no use arguing. Whatever your excuse, the punishment stands. May your souls find peace as they return to the goddess.
Wait. Please! The goddess would never forgive you for our execution!
Monster. We know you've already slaughtered many of our fellow brethren like this.
This concludes the investigation. Please remove these poor lost souls from my sight.
There you have it. It seems the assassination attempt and the attack on the Holy Mausoleum were all the work of the Western Church. As for the masked knight who led the attack, I'm afraid his whereabouts are yet unknown.
It makes no sense that the Western Church would try such a thing.
It just goes to show that the Church of Saros is not completely united. The Church is led by those here at Garreg Mach, and the Western Church doesn't have a strong voice on its governing council. I imagine the Western Church has harbored some resentment toward the Central Church for a while now. Ah, that's right. Gerald did say that you grew up outside the influence of the Church. The Church of Saros is split into a few branches across Fodlan. The largest being the Central Church, which is headquartered right here at Garreg Mach. The Western Church lies far to the west of Castle Gaspar, where Lord Lenato held his rebellion. It's situated on the far side of the kingdom's most impressive fortress, Aryan Road. I imagine the Western Church's intention was to eliminate Lady Rhea, and the Central Church's authority along with her. Naturally, the Knights will be riding out to question the Western Church's top officials, or rather, to punish them.
When they do, Your Highness, you will likely be asked to help carry out said punishment.
Indeed. Now, I don't mean to be rude, Professor, but I must say your situation is rather unusual. For someone to grow up in Fodlan, and yet never have any contact with the Church of Saros it's hard to believe.
I wonder why the Archbishop would hire someone like that as a professor.
So, those people from the Western Church were... Lady Rhea had them killed, didn't she?
Well, of course she did. Going against the teachings of Saros like that, quite unforgivable.
And those who stray must be punished, I suppose. That said, Professor,
There you are, Professor. It seems Lady Rhea would like a word with you. Come with me.
The Archbishop lives. Not that I had ever placed much faith in those swine from the Western Church.
I have news, both good and bad. The remains of Saros were not in a tomb. However, something else was. The Sword of the Creator.
Ah, the weapon wielded by that thief, the King of Liberation.
Thief? Huh. At any rate, it is now in the hands of the Academy's new professor. I doubt you will be surprised to hear that the Crescent Stone had already been removed from the sword when it was found.
As expected, it would be foolish to keep both in the same location.
There's more. The professor was able to awaken the sword's true power. Even without the Crescent Stone, the sword glowed red. The professor's crest is compatible. There is no mistaking it.
Absurd. Using a relic without its Crescent Stone should be impossible. The King of Liberation's bloodline should not even...
They must be allowed to keep it, for now. I do not have enough information about the professor to act. As for your request, I accept. The Death Knight is at your command. Use him well.
Good. I believe I will enjoy this a great deal.
I cannot thank you enough for defeating those invaders in the Holy Mausoleum, and especially for protecting the sword of the Creator. That sword is one of the hero's relics, and the most precious artifact in the Church's possession. It is also a weapon of terrifying power. For now, I will entrust the sword to you. Please.
Lady Rhea, wait! Do you truly mean to give the sword of the Creator to this stranger? Surely it is not the sort of thing one hands over so readily, even to someone who has the ability to wield it. If someone like Nemesis were to appear again, all of Fordland would be consumed by war. Nemesis, the King of Liberation. He is an ancient king of mankind who was defeated by Seros over 1,000 years ago. When Fodlan was attacked by wicked gods, it is said that the goddess gifted Nemesis with the sword of the Creator. Nemesis used that sword to defeat the wicked gods, saving all of Fodlan. Henceforth, he was dubbed the King of Liberation. However, his power began to corrupt him until he himself turned to the darkness. Saint Seros was forced to destroy him. Lady Rhea, I beg you to reconsider. Given a little more time, we could more accurately assess this stranger's abilities.
No, I have faith, Seth. Faith that our friend here will not be corrupted by wickedness. Since the death of Nemesis, none have been able to wield the sword of the Creator. Now, after all those long years of being sealed away, it has returned and found a new master.
I understand. As you wish, Lady Rhea. There you have it, Professor. See that you do not betray the trust the Archbishop has seen fit to bestow upon you.
The sword of the Creator? The King of Liberation? Each tale is more confusing than the last. And I really can't read that Rhea at all. That sword is clearly precious. So why is she so keen to gift the thing to you? I feel as though we have become entangled in a mystery. And there is one more thing that has been plaguing me. The sword of the Creator. It somehow feels distinct from other relics we have seen. Such as the one that... Oh goodness, what was her name? Yes, her! The sword of the Creator is different from her Thunderbrand in one key way. It bears a hole, where something should have been, but is no more. I despise not knowing what is going on. It frightens me. And yet, I place my trust in you. I must, whatever comes to pass. Please swear to cut a path that is your own.
Part 1. White Clouds. Verdant Ray Moon. Tower of Black Winds. The ceaseless rains that satiate the verdant landscape of Fodlan are accompanied by fierce winds and mighty roars of thunder. This abundance of rain, sparkling as it falls against beams of emerging sunlight, is a constant reminder to the people of Fodlan that nature is ever wild and unpredictable. For when the rain finally does take pause, the clouds part and give way to a glorious rainbow.
I have a new mission for you, Professor. I would like for you to take your students into Kingdom territory to eliminate some thieves.
They stole a hero's relic from House Gautier of the Holy Kingdom of Fargus, the Lands of Ruin. Their leader's name is Miklan. He is apparently a disowned son of House Gautier. I believe it had something to do with his lack of a crest. Such happenings are fairly common within the kingdom.
The Crestless cannot unleash the goddess's power even if they possess a relic. Nonetheless, they are still capable of simply wielding those weapons.
The hero's relics are immensely powerful weapons. We must meet this threat with adequate force. Unfortunately, most of the Knights of Seiros are away from the monastery, purging the apostates of the Western Church. So we are entrusting you with this mission. After all, you wield the Sword of the Creator, which is more than capable of opposing any relic.
The Sword of the Creator is a powerful weapon well beyond the other relics. You have nothing to fear. However, to ensure that no harm comes to the students, we will also send the monastery's most skilled individuals to aid you.
I must remind you that you are expected to conduct yourself in a manner befitting the wielder of that holy sword. Also, you should know that Professor Hanneman has been looking for you. That is all.
I heard about our mission for this month. So, we are to eradicate thieves in Kingdom territory. I'm sorry for dragging you into the Kingdom's petty squabbles. This should not be your burden to bear, but my own. Thank you, Professor. Hearing you say that puts my mind at ease.
Your Highness? Ah, it's been ages.
It's been a long time. 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed, Your Highness. You've grown so much in those years. I hardly recognize you.
This is Rob Reed, an old friend of my father's. I believe I mentioned him, if you recall. When my father died 4 years ago, he looked after me as though I were his own son.
You flatter me, Your Highness. It was my honor to care for such a fine young man. It's nice to finally meet you, Professor. My son, Felix, has mentioned you on occasion.
What brings you to the monastery, Rob Reed? Is it the thieves plaguing the kingdom?
I'm afraid so. This is not merely a problem for House Gautier, but for everyone. The thieves have set up their headquarters in Fraldaria's territory, and are mercilessly pillaging the villagers of that area. You have our full support in stopping those dastards. I thank you for your help, both of you.
Good of you to come, Professor. I've heard much about you lately. Specifically, that you are able to awaken the Sword of the Creator's power. Thusly, it seems the true nature of your crest has been uncovered. I had, of course, seen your crest before. However, at first, I failed to recognize its true nature. Eventually, it dawned on me that what is visible is perhaps merely a small part of a greater whole. In other words, your crest is too significant to be detected when using normal instruments. After this discovery, I began researching crests that might fit that description, which allowed for a temporary hypothesis. However, I could not be certain. The crest my conclusions led me to was far too unusual. A crest thought to have disappeared from this world in the millennium since the fall of Nemesis, the King of Liberation. The crest of flames. That is what you possess. Your ability to wield the Sword of the Creator has unequivocally proven my hypothesis. A legendary power, dormant since time immemorial, and now resurrected. There can be no doubt that this ancient power resides within you.
spending my days with devotion to my studies. There is something I think of when looking at you. I am feeling that the way you are teaching would give me great benefit. Is it possible to be switching to your class? I would like to be requesting that of you. I have so much gratitude. I'm still not used to the speaking of your language. But I have full comprehension. Please, Professor, teach me all of the things you know.
A stone? A stone. I do not understand. Yet, as I think of it, the pounding in my chest grows faster still. But is that me? Or is it you?
Mercedes. Her face looks familiar. Say, I hear that a knight of Saros named Gilbert will be joining us for our mission this moon. He is skilled, which is surely a boon for us. Still, that was not very thoughtful of Lady Rhea. Well, no, I do not. Not really. All I will say is that we have trained together a few times in the past. House Gautier is Sylvain's home. It would be nice of you to check on him as well.
I know Lord Rodrigue. He paid repeated visits to His Highness after the previous king was killed.
for greatness.
Over already?
Nice try.
Seems I prevailed.
Hello.
You and your class were at that fight in the Holy Mausoleum, right? I sincerely hope the holy artifacts are unscathed. I admit I wish I could have been there to see it all, even if it does make me queasy. But I was there too early. I'd gone first thing in the morning. At noon, one of the monks chased me out, saying I'd been there too long. Who were they to decide when I've been somewhere too long?
So, you have a crest too, eh, Professor? Does that mean you're descended from nobility? You've certainly got the look for it. I sure do wish there were more nobles like you, Professor. A teacher, a mercenary, and so very mysterious. How could a girl ever get enough? Hey, Professor, did you happen to see that man I was looking for earlier? I just spotted him by the dining hall, but then he ran away. To be honest, he's my father. He's using a different name now, but there's no mistaking it. It's him. I know it is. Father, I found you at last. Aristocrats are fools, allowing their lives to be dictated by their crests. Though, I suppose I am much the same in that regard. I thought school life would be peaceful and quiet, with a sprinkle of drama to keep things interesting. But since you arrived, it's been one thing after another. Is that just a coincidence, I wonder? What do you mean? I don't like the way you said that. Stop trying to spook me. That reminds me. The Leicester Alliance is governed through roundtable conferences between the 5 most prominent allied dukes, the 5 great lords. First and foremost is Duke Regan, the Alliance's leader. Joining him are the heads of House Goneril, House Gloucester, and House Ordelia. Lastly, there is the newest addition, Margrave Edmund. These 5 each have voting power in the conferences. Before House Edmund, it was House Daphno that was counted amongst the 5. However, it is said that the head of that family relinquished their vote to House Edmund, which had only recently risen to significance.
Hey, Professor! Don't you think everyone's making too big a fuss over these crests, or heroes relics, or whatever they're called? How important can that stuff really be? Personally, I don't even care that I don't have a crest. I'll take muzzles over crests any day. Heck, I'll take muzzles over a hot meal.
being my first time to the kingdom's north. I hear the people of North are cold and have much loneliness. Professor, I hear you have worked as a mercenary in the kingdom. Did you find joy in this? You cannot remember? Is that having possibility? Kind of amazement.
I heard a relic was stolen. If this had something to do with a family conflict, I don't think I could choose a side. I think I'd be a pretty good judge of that. I know relics aren't easy to come by, but I'd still like to get my hands on one.
Oh, that man I walked past earlier. That wasn't Lord Rodrigue, was it? House Fraldarius is a powerful noble family, linked to the founding of Fargus. Lord Rodrigue, its current leader, is a magnificent warrior. He's known as the Shield of Fargus. A dozen or so years ago, during the northern campaign in Srang, he performed splendidly as the king's right hand. Come to think of it, wasn't there someone from House Fraldarius amongst this year's students?
You acquitted yourself honorably last month. To think they'd go into the Holy Mausoleum and assault the Goddess Tower. I cannot imagine the Western Church was acting on its own. As for the masked knight who escaped, his days are numbered. I hope we find him soon, so I can kill him myself.
Professor, have you seen my son, perchance? I have need of him. Is that so? Thank you, Professor. I must ask him not to distract you, Professor, nor His Highness from the matter at hand.
I'm so sorry my older brother is causing you all this hassle, Professor. Don't misunderstand. I always thought he was a piece of garbage, but I never thought he'd steal the relic. I can't wait to see his face when he realizes I'm in the group that was sent to take him down.
Oh.
The head of the Western Church holds the title of bishop. That's not as distinguished as an archbishop, such as Lady Rhea, but it still comes with a fair amount of authority. If someone in that position plotted an assassination, I cannot help but think it must have been instigated by some outside force. There are bishops in the Eastern Church as well, but to speak frankly, they do not have much impact. They are under the influence of both the Archbishop and the Leicester Alliance, so their ability to voice grievances is quite limited.
Some people are unhappy because they don't have the crest they want, and some are unhappy because they have a crest they never asked for. Oh, excuse me.
For a hero's relic to be stolen, it's unheard of.
And just last month, the sword of the Creator was almost stolen too.
Also quite unheard of. What impudence.
The coffin of Saros in the Holy Mausoleum should have held her remains. Instead, it held the sword of the Creator. What could it mean?
What? I have heard that someone from House Gautier, one of the Kingdom of Fargus's noble families, is causing some sort of commotion. What a complete disgrace to the nobility.
Rig in the flesh. What is Felix doing? This is such a rare opportunity for him to see his family.
I have a request. Hail, Professor. If I may introduce myself, I am Gilbert. My life has been spent as a dedicated knight. I am to accompany you on your assignment. I may have slowed a step in recent years, but I pledge to you the full extent of my abilities. No, Professor. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Oh, come to think of it, last month there was something to report, wasn't there? I never realized that bandits...
I could use your help.
Welcome. Please come again.
Hello.
Could you help me out? Knew I could count on you. Hey there. Come back anytime.
Why is that fish so still? Wait, is it swimming sideways? Perhaps it is resigned to its woeful fate of being plucked from the water and eaten. Ah, Professor, you are so outgoing with all of the students. I would like to have more opportunities to connect with you, though I'm certain my brother would disapprove. Might you help me with a favor? No. Hi.
It's awful. Just awful what happened with the rite of rebirth. The infirmary. Well, it was a mess. Things are finally calm again. And so I've come here to unwind. Let me tell you, I put all of my knowledge to use keeping those kids alive. Still, the truth of it is that when someone faces death for the first time, well, they figure out who they are. They learn if we can't lose them, Professor, not to battle or to cowardice. If you can keep them going, then I will too.